It does get a little bit tougher from here.
Yes, is what I want to say is because we are going to mention about the Sydney Cup. Actually, I still remember in the last 2, 3 years, is the Sydney Cup has been caused a lot of surprises. All the launchers came to win. They come from nowhere because the track, and then they can lead all the way under big odds. This year, do you think there will be a case as well?
I wouldn't be surprised. There's quite a few horses in this that I think are winning chances, and they're sort of odds of say $8 or better. And Chris Waller has so many chances in the race.
Yes.
He's got 5 runners, and they're all winning chances.
Yeah.
Stockman is the favourite, and he is probably the best wet tracker in the race. And he's been set for this. Very, very good record on heavy, but he's never run over 2 miles before. But he gives the impression that he'll stay it, but you never know. He could be another favourite to get beaten, and we're talking about after the race, he just didn't stay the distance.
Because last week in the champions quality, we can't imagine that all the Hong Kong people are cheering for the favourites, and they even cannot finish in the top 4. So that's why it's a race very difficult to predict.
Yes, I find that's the case. We don't have a lot of good class stayers in Sydney, so those races can be very tricky.
Yeah, but there's a horse that I would like to mention is Queen's Horse, because she just like bypassed the quality, champions quality. And do you think he is just like mainly focusing on this trip? Is it because of the track that he withdrew last week? You are mentioning that they are going to face the same red track again, so there will be a chance that he is going to withdraw again.
I was a little surprised that they did scratch last Saturday with Chalk Stream, because he looked like he would win that race. So in this, I think he's got a definite chance. He improved so much from his first start on February 26. He was pretty well beaten, and I thought, well, Chalk Stream is no hope in the Sydney Cup. But then when he ran 1 month later over 2,400 metres at Rose Hill, I think he was the best run in the race. He drew wide, he worked, he was sort of 3 wide and going forward basically the whole race. And just when you thought he'd probably weaken out, he kept fighting to the line. So with 50 kilos on his back, raced by Her Majesty the Queen there, she may well be a Sydney Cup winner. Looking at the prices, 8.5 is the price about Chalk Stream at the moment. So I think that's reasonable.
Yes. And also the stablemate, actually Chris Waller, I think he is going to win this race, but we're not sure which horse is going to win. So from the forms, I would say the Surefire actually is quite good from his European form, and then he still can perform in Australia in such a short period of time. It seems that he is quite a talented horses in staying races.
Yes, well, he was a winner at Royal Ascot last year over 2,400 metres Surefire, and it's quite amazing. His first run in Sydney was over 2,000 metres, and he had 2 barrier trials, but he didn't do much. You sort of looked at the trial and thought, oh, this horse isn't ready yet. But on race day, he was just too classy for them, off that rating, too good. And then gave away a big start in the Queen's Cup last time and wound up running second behind No Compromise. Now, No Compromise is an interesting horse because it always gets right out the back, giving away a big start and running home at the end. Well, last time, No Compromise actually came out of the gates and was in the first 4 positions. So jockey Jay Ford went forward and led, which we'd never seen No Compromise do before. And once No Compromise led, they just couldn't pick him up. So I think Surefire's run to finish second that day was very good.
Yeah. So it seems like is that we can just like focusing on Chris Waller's horses to compete against with Stockman would be our strategy, or because New Zealand horses has been performing quite well in this race. So there's a horse that actually the form has been really, really well. Is the number 2 Chance Sweet Jr. So do you think he's up to this class?
Could well be. He's got a very good strike rate. He's only had 17 starts and has won 7 of them. And at least he's coming to this race at the right time, because he won the Adelaide Cup only a few weeks ago over this distance of 3,200 metres. So we know he can run it, the number 2 horse there. So definite chance. Number 1, the chosen one, trained by Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman. Now, Murray's about to retire. So can Murray go out with one last Group 1 winner? There's many chances.
Yeah, because the chosen one actually this time is quite special. We know that he's a very good staying horse, but his first Group 1 win was over a mile, and then he just like keep performing well at the highest level. So we cannot just like always underestimate this horse, because he has been racing consistently at the Melbourne Cup, finishing 4th, 5th. But then when he returned back to Sydney Cup, actually he's quite classy among this field, right?
Probably the biggest problem for the chosen one, although he's a New Zealand horse, he doesn't really seem to be at his best on soft ground.
Yeah. So that means that if the track's too wet, then may not an advantage for him.
Yeah, I think that could be a big problem.
Okay.
And the track will definitely be heavy on Saturday.
Yeah, because originally I always think that because New Zealand, the track has been always wet and heavy, so the New Zealand horses should be well handled in Sydney. But this is not the case always, right?
With most New Zealand horses, yes. But I'm just looking at the chosen one. He's had 15 runs on soft or heavy, and he hasn't been able to win any of them. There's some placings there, but all his 7 wins have been on a good rated track.
Yeah. So in our prediction, I think because this time, I think Angel of Truth and maybe the No Compromise will take the lead. So this race will have pace. In this case, is it better for Surefire or Trust Stream, the racing pattern, you think?
I think Chalk Stream can sit closer in the run. I think Chalk Stream will probably be in the top 4. Don't expect No Compromise to be leading again, because I think that was a one-off. He just sort of jumped out of the gates, and the jockey took the opportunity. But there's a strong chance he'll be well back in the second half of the field again. It's hard to do a good speed map on this race, because there isn't a great deal of pace. The one you mentioned to start with, Angel of Truth, it really does look the leader. And Knight's Order is the other one, number 3. It's very much an on-pace runner. So 3 and 6, pace should be okay.
Yeah. So in our conclusion, what's your pick in this race?
I go Surefire and Chalk Stream as the 2 main chances.
Okay.
QP.
OK， 好啦，嚟到呢個咧就係第7場啦，澳洲當地啊，不過香港咧就 S1 第4場咧就係悉尼杯啊。我哋都覺得呢一場賽事係最令人頭痛啊。咁啊，事關上個星期舉行嘅主席讓賽裏面咧，大家都知道啊，嗰啲熱門咧全部咧四甲不入㗎。咁啊，可以知道咧，其實而家澳洲長途馬壇咧，其實咧有少少人才凋零嘅情況啦。咁啊，所以咧經常會有出現一啲咧爆大冷嘅情況嘅。咁啊，今場賽事咧，其實華禮納咧而家咧就有5隻馬仲係列陣嘅，5隻馬咧都係有機會係爭勝嘅喎。不過比較之下咧，好似11號啊呢一隻咧就係必紅啦，同埋13號啊由呢個英女王擁有嘅 Trust Stream 咧都係有啲機會㗎。咁其實上星期咧咁啊 Trust Stream 咧就退出咗嘅，因為就唔知咩原因啦。今場賽事其實咧會唔會真係留一留嚟咧主力係跑呢一場咧？咁啊大家可以留意下啦。咁啊其實我哋都覺得咧，如果上星期跑咧機會咧都係非常之高嘅。又睇今場賽事孭住呢個50 kg 有冇機會啦。Surefire 咧其實見到佢啦喺歐洲嘅賽績同埋喺 澳洲嘅表現咧都非常之好啊，咁喺短時間內咧都非常之進步啦，應該咧係呢場賽事嘅爭標分子嚟嘅。咁喺其他即係嘅賽區方面啦，4號啊呢個咧管理力牧場咧。喺呢個爛地咧，應該係全組馬裏面咧最好咁滯嘅啦。咁啊，今場賽事其實佢個備戰功夫亦都好啦，咁睇下有冇機會可以跑得好啦。1號其實咧呢個咧精心挑選咧不嬲都有級數嘅，但係咧原來翻查記錄去遠地咧或以上嘅賽事係從來未贏過嘅。咁啊，今場賽事咧如果喺大爛地上進行咧，大家留意下。所以今場咧我哋咧就有13號啦、11號啦。如果要揀嘅咧，可以留意埋咧，就係呢個4號 Stockman 啦。如果我心水啊冷門咧，我會留意埋咧呢隻1號嘅精心挑選啦，同埋呢隻8號嘅 No Compromise 嘅。